So you've owned your house for a long time and you've got a bunch of equity. And now you're ready for the next move, but you're not sure how to take advantage of the equity or where to get started. Well, guess what? This is where you get started. You're going to love this video. Today, we're going to jump in and share some of the things and tactics that we share with our clients when this question gets asked with us. We're so glad you're here. Let's jump into it. Hello, and if we're meeting for the first time, my name is Alex, and I'm your friend in real estate in Nashville. And we love to bring great things on our channel, much like today's video, where we're sharing some of our tools, techniques, and strategies to help you have the next best real estate transaction in your life, whatever that may be. If it's moving up, if it's moving down, buying a vacation property, buying your first investment property, or getting rid of all of it, we're here for it. And that's something that we do in our market here in Nashville, Tennessee. And so we're excited you're with us. If you find some value in today's video, go ahead and smash the subscribe button. And if you find something of value in the content today, drop us a comment below, ask us a question, or bring out something that you hadn't thought about before. Let us know. We're excited you're here. Let's get into the video. So the first step you want to take when you're going through to maximize your home's equity and your next move is you want to find out how much equity you actually have. What is the current market value for the home that you've been in for so long? And long could be a lot of different things. It could be 10 years, it could be 20, it could be 30, 40, maybe even 50 years. And now it's time for that next move, and we want to make sure we value the equity. So we want to make sure we go through and get clear market value on the house. So you can do this a lot of ways. There's a lot of automated valuation systems that are out there. You could hire an appraiser to come give you an opinion of the value, but what we recommend is a hyper local agent in your market that really knows why you're going to do that. Now, I'm sure you're sitting there going, come on, Alex, really? You're telling me as a realtor to call a realtor? Of course you did. Well, I am telling you that, and I'll tell you why. You can get an independent opinion of value on an appraiser, but that's what they think the value is. They get paid for the value no matter what. A realtor who is specifically and strategically marketed and targeted with experience in your hyper-local market will actually be responsible for backing up what they said that they would do and getting that for you. So you can go through there, and that's the thing that we recommend, right? You can get all these different opinions of values, but when you actually go into it and get it, you need someone that's going to help you get there. And so you might as well be talking to them, and you could go with a range. We give a range in our market when we're doing that because it can also have a lot of different variables on time and condition and how easy it is to show and the time of year. All those things come into some of the value. So we give our clients a range so they can know and make their financial arrangements accordingly. So that's the first thing you want to do is know how much you have. That has a big impact in starting the process because that leads to some of the other steps to make sure this is as smooth of a process as possible. So now that we have the value, our next step is actually going through and talking through the goals. What are your goals with this next move? What are you right sizing? Are you moving up so you can accommodate more generations? We have many multi-generation home purchases happening. We have older generations moving in with people. We have children staying in homes longer. And so we end up having more popular multi-generational homes than ever before in our career. And so you may be right sizing for that, for those needs. You may be looking to do your first investment property, or you may be doing an investment property through a vacation property that you keep in your portfolio. Whatever it may be, we need to talk about those goals and really know where it is. You may be moving completely different markets, following children or parents in another part of the country or even the world. But we need to know what that goal is because you need to look into that market and you need to really figure out what that market's velocity is. Market velocity, how fast things are moving. One of the challenges when you're accessing equity to take advantage of it is you got to be mindful of which market is moving faster or slower, because if one's moving faster than the other, you need to focus on getting yourself prepared to catch up to that speed or to be ready when the moment arises. There's deals and opportunity in just about every market. You just got to be in the game in order to do it. Can't be on the bench. You got to be in the game between the white lines to be able to take advantage. And that's what we want you to do. Look at the goal, talk about the plan as to where you're going to be. Now we're putting your plan together because we know how much you have and you know where we're going. Now we're setting ourselves up for success. Okay, our next step is talking about some of your personal financial situations. Now, some people get really uncomfortable when you start talking about money, and that's pretty common. I have multiple clients right now that have engaged me to help have conversations with their parents about right sizing and where some of all of the assets are and all of their plans, and have they done any of it? And some people have everything put together and they just didn't want their family to know. And some people haven't done any of it and don't want their family to know. So one of the best things here is start talking about these plans. So now we know the goal, we know the equity. What kind of impact does that have on all of our other financial vehicles that are out there? So when it comes to a primary residence, if you're looking at a primary residence and accessing some of that equity, if you're single, you have a $250,000 exemption that is capital gains tax free. And if you're married filing jointly, you have $500,000, $500,000 you could take tax free. Now, with some planning, if you're in a position where you may have 2 or 3 or even 4 times that amount in equity, well, there's some strategies and techniques you need to be intentional about before you just march off the cliff and access those money and can actually save lots of money. We have a client that we saved over $1,500,000 in equity. We helped them with a strategy and a plan on how to be strategic and take advantage of the tax code and some of the capital gains codes and laws that are out there to make sure that we access their equity to the highest potential and for them. And that was all they had. That was their main financial asset. So we had to come up with this strategy. It took us a little bit longer, but it ultimately had the highest yield, and it helped them ultimately be the key to reaching their goal for their next move. So make sure you're going through and talking about those things and getting all of your financial assets prepared as you make this next move. All right, so now our next step is, where are we going? What's next in that market and what's different? So that's the key here, right? We've already talked about the goals. And so now is what's different in this new market? How are things going? We've talked about the velocity of the market, but what's different there? Are the taxes different? Are there different valuations in the new market that you may be moving to? How much time have you spent in this new market? If it's always been a dream about going to this new market that you're moving to, but never spent a ton of time there, well, actually, one of our techniques and strategies, I got permission to share it here with you today, is we actually recommend people when they move to that market is rent first. Now, I hope that's shocking to you. I hope that was the screeching brakes or the Scooby-Doo, like what's going on with that? That's right. One of the things we recommend to make the most financial impact for our clients' benefit is when they move to this next market is to rent first. Now, I'll tell you why. It's easier to go through and rent and start to establish your new habits in your new community, wherever you may be going. And it's easier to recover or break a lease 4, 5, 6 months into it, as opposed to having a purchase from long distance and not really knowing what you want to do or how you want to do it. And going through there, that's such much more financial risk than it is on the rent. Now, I do want you to get into ownership soon. That's what we do. We're residential real estate agents and advocates of home ownership. But in this particular situation, when you've been somewhere for a long time and you may be changing all of the things, you don't know where your to-go Chinese place is, or your pizza place, or your dry cleaners, or any part of your community where your pickleball courts are going to be, or any other activities. There's a lot of little micro market things that you need to know, and you can only know when you're in that market. So we actually advocate for people knowing about that, knowing about the taxes. In some places, taxes are much higher. What about income tax? One big reason for major migration here in Middle Tennessee is Tennessee does not have any state income tax. So we have people moving from all corners of the country to Middle Tennessee for that single tax benefit. And then they have other properties everywhere, but they make this their primary because of that key asset. So make sure you're looking into all the various differences around the country and into that new market. Okay, now we're going to talk about the money. Show me the money, right? Let's get down to all the different tools and tactics that are out there. There are so many that can be taken advantage of to help you reach your goals. It just depends on which resources you have available. So there's lots of pledged asset lines, there's home equity lines, there's cash out refinances, lots of different techniques for you to get your finances in order based on all the other steps you've already taken in order to get there. So for example, if you've been in a market for a long time and you've got a lot of equity on your house, you may choose, and your new market may be moving really fast. You may have picked this exact beachfront property, within 2 blocks of exactly where you want to be, and only 1 or 2 a year come up. And when they do, somebody buys them all cash, no contingencies in like 2 days. So this year, you're only going to have 2 opportunities, and really you're only going to have about 5 or 6 days total opportunity to strike. So this may be an opportunity where you're going to look into a cash out refinance. You can go through and actually do a refinance and borrow up to about 80% of the money against your house, get that cash out and have that cash immediately available so you can actually strike with that cash on the new property when it comes available within those few days. Now, there's other videos about talking about this. You absolutely want to have some contingencies, some actual mechanical contingencies, and you can actually talk through that with your local expert in that hyperlocal market about what's market and what'll give you an advantage to be successful. But make sure you could do that. Now, you could also do that with a home equity line. A home equity line is a lot like a credit card. You don't have any balance on it. You're not using it. You can set that up with a local bank, and they'll also lend somewhere around 75 to 80% of your home's value on that. And then you could use the equity line to buy the new property, have that drawn, and then you can move into that. And then you can actually sell your house behind you or your original house without you being in it, which can be a really, really nice thing. And many clients actually choose that. They want to focus on where they're going, get moved there, and then the original house is actually something that they can sell and not be there, not be in the way, which gives us an advantage. We're selling it because it's easier and much more convenient to show. And so when someone calls with that last minute showing and it's at 6 o'clock and everyone's coming home from school and work and church and whatever they've been doing, it doesn't disrupt life in the home. It's much easier to show it that way. So make sure you get the financial products in place to make sure you can reach your goals. Well, thanks for joining us this week. We really hope you got some value, and we think we're sharing some tools that you just won't get anywhere else. Thanks for being here. And my name is Alex. I'm your friend in real estate in Nashville. And if your next move brings you to Nashville, it would be our honor to be in business with you. You can follow the links right here and connect with us personally. We'll have our first initial meeting and discovery meeting talking about your goals. Or if you'd like us to make an introduction to one of our friends and partners across the country, you can follow the same link. We'll meet with you, have that initial meeting, and make sure we make the right introduction from your market, wherever that may be, in the country or across the world. Thanks for being here. If you found some value, please do subscribe and drop us a comment below. We'd love to answer questions. We are here actually doing it, and it is me behind the scenes making those answers. But we're so glad you're here and hope to see you on the next video real soon. Thanks for being here, and until we connect again, keep on keeping on.